Episode 153, 10 Ways to Go Broke.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
It's hump day, folks. Come on, cheer the fuck up. There's only 2 days left. No, 3 days. Well, anyway, long story short, welcome to the very best podcast in the world. Your personal, resource in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. And since yesterday, we were talking about failure in entrepreneurship and highlighting my own failure. Well, yeah, shit happens. It was my first business. What do you expect, right? Second one went great. Third one, perfect. And everything since, I don't know, was just a fucking charm. Anywho, there are multiple factors that you can identify that will definitely increase your chances significantly, exorbitantly to go broke. And while going broke is, again, not the end of the world, but the end of the world is death. And until then, you only have a finite and unrecoverable amount of time. You may want to do these. It's still very cumbersome to go out of, this broke mindset, which, inevitably comes with a lot of negative energy and told you so's and, blah. Get your bullshit filter on, when those remarks come and start over, because there's always enough time to make money. And you have to really start to understand that every dollar earned, there are those that go into business and want to become millionaires and want to sign the $1 million deal without even having made $1. And that's kind of, or euro or yen or whatever. And that's a very interesting thing to observe, what a lot of these entrepreneurs fail with, because what you see a lot of times on Instagram, these shiny stories of the presumably successful people with their Lambos and their yachts and their mansions and whatnot is, I don't know where they get all the money from, because a lot of the businesses that, if you look behind the curtain of the person, you run into businesses and that business ain't making too much money, from what you can see. But, nobody, anyhow, it's really about preserving your energy, keeping your money together until your money can actually work for itself. Then you have reached what I refer to as financial independence. So where do I want to go with this? Oh, yeah, housekeeping. If you haven't, shame on you. Subscribe to this podcast now. Click pause, go to wherever your favorite podcast service is, search for it, subscribe, done. Then, sharing is motherfucking caring. So, sharing this episode with someone that you think of that, has tendencies towards the 10 things that you're going to listen to, hopefully, till the end, share this episode with them, right? Go to the website or wherever you share your podcasts from, take the link, send them an email or an iMessage or WhatsApp or Telegram or a Signal or what other, Facebook message or whatever, send it to them directly and inconspicuously in a way that, you won't kind of pull their pants down in front of everybody else by saying, hey, you were close to going broke on a thing, here, I'm going to put this on your public Facebook feed. Don't do that, please. Just, housekeeping end. Anywho, so the 10 ways to go broke are, number one, addictions. And these are categorically career killers because they're going to spiral out of proportion. Immediately, what do you think of in terms of addictions? You've got your gambling, you've got your meds, you've got your alcohol, and they cloud your judgment in a variety of ways. Let's say, you've become wealthy and I don't know, you're the casino kind of person to go to show off and, lay the girls and whatever. And you start to gamble and you start to win because that's, not out of the ordinary. But then, you get into this thing of, you're going to lose, and then normally people who are wealthy are, very disciplined and, have a lot of stamina. And so the core remark that is guaranteed for downward spiral is, I'm going to win it back. No, you are fucking not. The bank always fucking wins, period. That's what the fuck it boils down to, always. Addictions are, meds and alcohol, which, cloud your judgment and whatever. But when is something an addiction? And that's a very important and interesting question to ask because, something can be fun. You can be in your casual casino goer, and have your budget for a month, which you then either blow or multiply. But then you get this thought of, God damn it, I got to win this back. And that's where it goes downhill in that. There's like alcohol. You observe yourself. You have, I don't know, maybe a drink a night, a glass of wine, and then it's a bottle of wine, and then you need your wine during the day, and that's when it goes downhill from there. And then you go shopping for a bottle of wine late at night because you ran out, and you buy a bottle of wine and a pack of flour so that the cashier isn't going to think that you're an alcoholic, which you are by that point, and shit like that. Which is very, very, very dangerous in terms of the, medication/alcohol addiction thing. Same goes for the meds. As soon as your doctor starts telling you, hey, you kind of ran out with your prescription pretty quickly. It's like, oh, holy shit, your alarm bells should start to ring. What I did, I was at a stage in my life where I could easily drink a bottle of whiskey at night, casually, sitting around with friends or whatever. And I was I could speak, I could walk straight. And I was so used to the alcohol that I was like, whoa, this is not good. And that's when I started my kind of like sobriety month, which is always in January, where, I try to cut back on the good stuff in life a little bit. Too much chocolate and sugar and, all of those good stuff, but I will not touch alcohol. And even now I'm at a stage where I will, in the evening, maybe, if I feel like it, have a liquor or a schnapps to digest the good food, just to help it. But I never go above one little shot glass full of it, ever. And that's a very important self-discipline thing that you have to kind of grasp yourself. Holy shit, we're getting out of time. Bragging is another thing. I, in the introduction, mentioned these, Instagram, quote unquote stars that kind of present their, shiny life, big house, fast car, trophy girlfriend on every picture, another. And that's going to get you to a degree where you need to impress people. There's this famous saying, impress people you don't like with money you don't have to buy shit you don't want, something along those lines. And that's kind of like where that goes. You will raise expectations in people that follow you for being wealthy. And so you're fulfilling their expectations that you need to have a new watch every month or a new car every year or a new yacht every 2 or whatever. Bragging is a guarantee to get you in a vulnerable position. I'm not going to say it's going to make you go broke, but it's going to put you in a vulnerable position to get you there. Too much debt is number three. And that's a killer because we're seeing this now worldwide, that a lot of people have been living not over their standard of income, but to the limit. And now that, a lot of paychecks are being skipped and missed out and whatever, these people are starting to really fucking struggle. And putting yourself in debt to, for instance, buy a fucking vacation, I don't see the point. Because you can't relax because you're counting the interest on the vacation, whatever. That's not for me to judge. But normal debt, sure, you can. Sorry, you can buy a house out of petty cash. That just doesn't fucking work. And for a lot of us, cars have become so expensive that, yeah, maybe. But anything above that, what do you really need? And then we come back to the bragging thing and whatever. Yesterday, number 4, we discussed how to kill dreams. And it's important to have them, and it's important not to deviate from them. Sure, dreams can change. They can adjust with new life situations. So can goals, but it's very, very, very important to pursue them, number 1, and to pursue them diligently. And number 2, even more important, is not to let anyone, sow doubt in you about your dreams. They're your dreams. Whether you convey them or not is up to you with your friends or family or, your outside world. I personally wouldn't really, but, there you go. Up to you. And it's important to pursue them again and not to let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, number 5, toxic relationships. There's a good quote out there along the lines of, a powerful man always has a powerful woman to keep his back free, kind of like that, something along those lines. And if your relationship with, if you aspire to have this trophy wife, good on you. Fact of the matter is, though, usually they're gone as soon as the money is gone. They're not going to be, like this real in sickness and in health kind of thing. They're only there in health. When you're sick, they're gone. And when anything is sick, they're gone too. Yeah, usually that's the case. So you want somebody by your side that's on your side, right? And as soon as, you notice that you're not in line on pursuing the same goal, but, somebody's stabbing your back in a relationship, you may want to conceive it as toxic. And because that's what relationships are about, is pulling on the same string and making sure, that you're on the same road together, on your voyage together, the voyage of life. That, anything that doesn't really line up with that is probably, at least in parts, toxic. Number 6, no discipline or lack of discipline. And that's a very interesting one. I mentioned it with the dreams and goals, that you have to be disciplined in the things you need to be disciplined in, right? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about something very interesting that I repeatedly mentioned, because I'm not very disciplined at getting up in the morning, but I'm very disciplined otherwise. And being disciplined about your goals and staying on the road to those goals and dreams is insanely important. So being disciplined, self-disciplined is very, very, very interesting and important. Number 7, laziness. Don't mistake laziness with, I'm going to do as much as I can today, right? There are those people who know tomorrow. They want to get everything done on the same day. Here's the catch. It's going to stab you in the back sooner or later. You're going to be stressed out because you're constantly trying to figure out how much more shit you can jam into one day. And that's going to leave you in an exposed position for stress to happen in that you have no time left for the fun things in life, right? And that's important, really, to understand. You need the fun in life to re-energize your batteries. And if your thing is, to lay down like I always do in the afternoon or in the morning or whatever, just to recharge your batteries to their full capacity so that, your day is maximum productive, you do that. There's an episode, very detailed, I forgot the title, that we did about precisely this. It's about work, and I kind of outlined an example from Japan where, people that fall asleep in their place of work, that's kind of like, it's very much looked upon positively. Where I was like, where can I sign up? Sleeping in the workplace. God damn it. No, but it's from exhaustion that a lot of people actually fall asleep. And the motto or the understanding there is, wow, that person is so fucking exhausted. They worked until they slept. Yeah. You know where this is going, right? So laziness is another one of the examples. Number 8, no financial knowledge. And I'm trying to convey to you in this podcast some financial education, right? Because it's something you don't get in school, but it's one of the most important things. If you look at back in the day, what were the biggest buildings in the city? The churches. What are the biggest and most prestigious buildings today? The banks. So where society has gone, right? It's always the most important thing has the biggest buildings. So money is now our God, and at least for a lot of us. And so therefore, you want a certain amount of financial education, which again, you don't get in school. So it's up to fucking you to get it yourself. And there's tons of free information out there. You are in an age where you don't have to be privileged to get a formal financial education. You can get all of the knowledge from YouTube and, blogs and podcasts and whatever. It's up to you, right? But do it. Financial education or having financial knowledge is so fucking important. And if you don't have it, you're pretty easily going to go broke if you don't understand the financial instruments that you want to invest in thoroughly. How you can do your due diligence on financial instruments that you want to invest in, and so on and so forth. So interesting shit starts to happen if you don't have financial education. Number 9, spending money you don't have. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it kind of resonates with what I mentioned with the pandemic going on and paychecks being skipped and people having the water up to their neck. Because it's basically the same thing. Number 10, not taking any risks. If you want to really talk about risks with me, don't. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I mentioned yesterday that there were times in my early life where I didn't have food in the fridge and had no idea where to fucking get it from. And those were dire times. And I'm going to make sure that I learn my lesson from that and not have those ideas, those things, those situations repeat. So those were the 10 ways to go broke. Again, if you found someone in here that resembles one of these characteristics, share this episode with them to avoid precisely that. I think we're going to shut this motherfucker down now. So in that sense, have a good day, a good rest day of hump day. And we're going to be back in touch tomorrow. We're going to talk about the early bird, the night owl, and the constantly exhausted pigeon. So in that sense, have a good night. Peace out. And see you tomorrow.